Hey guys, this is No Solution. I'm Scott. Apologies if my voice sounds a bit weird. I've been sick the last couple days, and it happened to coincide with an ice storm that knocked out our power for 2 days. So I managed to avoid the roving cannibal gangs in the streets as of our lawless town with no power. Everything's back up now. So yeah, I had saved out some stuff that I got in the mail. As I've said earlier, I'm not really going to be focused on doing like hauls or collection updates or anything, but I just held out some stuff that I thought was interesting to show. So let's get into it. First off, I got a package from Joe of Joe's Metal Man Cave. I ordered these from his Bandcamp. I didn't even know he made music. He put up an interview with Abigor from his old zine, and I really liked the music underneath it. And I looked on the description, and it led to his Bandcamp for his band. I might butcher this. Apologies, Joe. Noctilicant, a dark ambient project. So I went on there and listened to some stuff. It sounded cool to me. I'm not real familiar with this genre, so my description of it is probably going to be horrible. But I went on and checked out what CDs he had available and bought the ones he had. So I'll show those now. This is his debut album, Back to the Mud. It comes in this cool envelope, sealed with the wax seal here, and numbered. I just thought that was really cool. Really cool attention to the packaging. And then inside is the CD in like a slimline case. So from what I understand, all the albums under this name are kind of part of a larger concept of apocalypse and the aftermath of the apocalypse. So this is the first album, kind of where it happens, and there's some narration and some kind of voice acting parts, but they're not intrusive. They really fit with the music and the theme. Really dark. Yeah, no, I really dug this one quite a bit. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how to describe it in relation to maybe others of the genre, but I expected this kind of to be background music, but I was really engaged with it the whole time. I really enjoyed it quite a bit. So that was part one of the saga. This is part two, Oblivion to you all. I have not dug into this one yet. This is the 5-year anniversary edition with the whole entire bonus disc. But yeah, looking forward to getting into that one. I went to part 5, and as of now, the final part, in A World of Human Wreckage. This one is a bit more cinematic and not so much of an obvious story. On the Bandcamp, Joe outlines kind of what's going on in it. But this tends to be shorter tracks. Again, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Back to the Mud more, but these are just initial impressions. I mean, there's a lot going on. I know that I'm not catching on to, so I'll definitely be coming back to these. And then this one was from another of his projects, Gavella Gland, A Silent Vigil for Oncoming Plagues. This is more in the, I guess, dungeon synth vein. It's not what I would think of as dungeon synth because I'm very uneducated about dungeon synth. From what I've heard, it sounds like just people making the Mortis albums over and over, and this isn't that. But it's very kind of fantasy inspired, and there's some really cool melodies on it. Yeah, so not as dark. I would say dungeon synth people should check this one out. In my uneducated opinion, but yeah, thanks a lot, Joe. I've been enjoying all these, and I'll leave a link below to Joe's Bandcamp so you can check them out yourself. This I just got in a recent House Headbangers order. The Nargaroth. Here, I'll show you the spine here. The Orc and Fuck Off Nowadays Black Metal 2 CD comp. They'll each have their own jewel cases. And these were demos, early demos of Nargaroth. I just kind of got into them recently because everything I'd heard, I thought he was just kind of a clown and maybe a poser. but I've really been enjoying his music, so this popped up, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta grab that one. So this, I think this is where the poser thing started. Check out, recorded in 91, he claims. Yeah, right. I think he's come out, I mean, he's been debunked, so he had no choice really but to admit it was like 98. Yeah, this is all instrumental, the Orc demo. I really enjoyed this one the most. He has a habit in his early material of like really repetitious, kind of looping, really long songs, which can go either way. But most of the time, I'm into it the whole way. So yeah, this one I enjoyed quite a bit. The Fuck Off Nowadays Black Metal, I kind of wanted it just because of this ridiculous title. But it's a lot of like early versions of things that ended up on the first two records. It's okay. I think if you're really into this band, you might get something out of it. This is one of those things I listened to a couple times. I'm like, all right, yeah, probably won't be revisiting this one very often, but I'm complete as scum, so I had to have it anyway, and I'm glad to have them both. I got these from Hell's Headbangers. I think I mentioned that. They might still have them. Let's see. Oh, new Graveworm. It's only been a couple months, so we got another Graveworm release. This is Raw War Winter Sessions 1997 to 1999. These are demos that Kevin had from that time period that... Oh, it's not in the liner notes here. I believe he finished these and finished the vocals and everything in 2017. So there's some unreleased stuff, some stuff that has been on previous comps he's put out, Arcane Archives, I think. Yeah, this is fun stuff. This is the early Graveworm is not my favorite Graveworm, but it's always fun to get some new stuff from him. This is and will always be a Graveworm channel. So yeah, check it out if you're interested in the really early first wave black metal material. I have a tiny gripe. There's no liner notes. It's just like a picture on the inside, and you know the fact that they did the vocals in 2017. I think was on the Bandcamp page. I kind of want it to be in here, not have to go to a website to see it. But yeah, let's see what else I got. Oh, I'm a big fan of the prog band Riverside, and I joined their fan club last year. And you get a membership card and maybe early entry to shows, though that really didn't work out. But then there's fan club only things you can buy. Special releases, special colored vinyl variants, and you get a welcome package. Last year it was a single of the one new song that they put out on their giant 4 CD compilation of the shorts and the longs it's called, and first 2 CDs are the shorter single size songs, and then the other 2 are the longer songs. So you got a physical single of the one new song, and then an acoustic CD and DVD, which are really cool. So I re-upped this year, and what we got this year was Riverside the Singles 2022. This is a CD and a DVD. Both of them are single edits of 2 songs from the new record, which if you have the 2 CD set, the bonus disc has both of those on there, so not as exciting as last year, but the DVD you get the videos for both of them too. It's kind of a neat collector piece. And then you get a welcome letter and a membership card. it's a cool card. It's pretty substantial. And then this year we got a pin. Shelter of Mine is the name of the fan club, if anybody's interested. Yeah, so that were the things I picked out that I thought were interesting. And hey, we got a little bit of time. I thought I would talk about a horror novel for a second. So I chose The Cellar by Richard Laymon. This came out in 1980. And this is bonkers. This is cancelable the entire way through. Richard Laymon went on to... He was really big in England, not so much here. His second novel got cut to shreds, and when it came out, it was cut so much it really didn't even make any sense anymore. So he blames that for why his career never took off here. But he's got, I don't know, 40 novels. But for my money, it didn't ever get better than The Cellar, his first one. I'm trying not to be mean. I feel like he didn't know what he was doing in this, and that made it awesome, because when he didn't know what he was doing, then you didn't know what was going to happen, and literally anything could happen. I've seen quotes that say he was Stephen King without a conscience, and yeah, some of the stuff that happens in here, all the triggers, guys, sexual abuse, child abuse, I guess I should say kind of what it's about. There is a tourist trap type house in this small town where supposedly 100 years ago a monster broke in and killed this lady's whole family, and then she survived and now runs tours in this house. So I'm sorry, I guess it wasn't 100 years ago, because she's still a character. And you know, it turns out, of course, there really is a monster, and a lady who left her abusive husband takes her daughter to the town. She gets stranded in the town, and then hijinks ensue. Yeah, jeez. A lot of people hate this book, and I get it, but it's just so crazy that I think it's a classic. Check it out. There's been a reissue of this that's pretty much probably any used bookstore you can find it for $1 or $2. I would highly recommend it. As his career went on, he was friends with Dean Koontz, and apparently Dean Koontz was advising him about, you know, how to make his books more commercially acceptable, which ended up being make them longer. So as he went on, his books got longer and longer and longer, and to my mind, just boring, and didn't have that unhinged magic of the first few, where he had a story to tell, and he was going to tell it, and he wasn't going to follow any of the rules. So yeah, I would say if you're going to get into Richard Laymon, stick to the 80s stuff. Once you get into the 90s, it starts getting a little hit and miss for me. He died in, I believe, 2000, but he put out a ton of stuff in that time. So yeah, guys, let me know. Are you interested in hearing more about horror novels? Do you like Richard Laymon? Do you hate Richard Laymon? Yeah, let me know in the comments. Thanks a lot, guys.